not merely seeing reality, it is touching the truth.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Chronic Gamer. My name is Matt, and this is my final thoughts and redirect for the last 3 episodes of Fate Zero. Alright, so Fate Zero. This was a crazy intense series with so many different angles and so many intense things going on at any given time. It was definitely a smarter series than most anime. Overall, I really like this series. It was definitely confusing, and I definitely feel like I need to rewatch it again on my own time, and not have it be so spread out like it was with these reactions. But overall, I would say I give this series an 8 out of 10. It was definitely a really good one. I know it's not the end of the story, so I would definitely like to eventually see the continuation of this, should it get voted in. But yeah, overall I would say an 8 out of 10. So to get back to these 3 episodes in particular, I really liked the interactions between Waver and Ryder more than any other pair in this series. They were truly friends with each other. They weren't using each other. They were... You know, maybe Waver originally summoned Ryder to prove a point, but they definitely befriended each other and they went through a lot with each other, and it was really nice to see Ryder call Waver his friend and then later on recruit him as his retainer to live on and do everything that Ryder wanted to accomplish and tell Ryder's tale. It was so great. And even the fact that Ryder got Archer's approval and acknowledgement of being on equal footing with Archer was just shows so much about their characters, and it was such a great moment, I think, for that. I know that Ryder didn't end up winning. I didn't think he would, although he was who I was rooting for. He did have a death worthy of his character, really. It was fantastic. He went out leading a charge. He really didn't stand a chance against Gilgamesh, but he did what he loved doing, and that was trying to conquest. And he even tried to recruit Archer at the end there, right before their battle, which was pretty funny. But completely in character for him, and I just loved that whole interaction. I also liked how they wrapped up Waver's character. I didn't want anything bad to happen to him, and I'm glad that it didn't, at least in this series. I don't know if he's in any of the other Fate series, but he got to live with his grandparents and try to achieve the goal that Ryder set out for him, and I really appreciate that. And I also like the fact that Archer let him go. He respected Ryder so much that he was like, you know what? You were given a task by him, and I'm going to let you fulfill it because of my respect. So, great conclusion to those characters. I was not expecting the ending, though. The ending definitely surprised me. I thought for sure there would be a true winner of this war, but it doesn't seem like anyone won at all. Kirei somehow came back to life. Archer somehow got a mortal body. And Kiritsugu, his entire worldview was changed by the Holy Grail itself. So I guess the Holy Grail chose him and then showed him the only path to achieve what it is he wanted, and unfortunately that required the loss of humanity. And like I was saying in the previous episodes, and even like Kirei said, to end all conflict is the end of humanity. And I thought that meant in a sense of who we are as a people, but the way they seemed to portray it was the end of humanity completely, like no more humans, constantly sacrificing people for the greater good until nobody's left because nobody's perfect. And Kiritsugu definitely had a change of his psyche and his mentality towards all of this, and he pretty much changed his entire character persona into one of trying to just help people instead of killing people for the greater good. You know, kill the evil, save the many was his ideology, but now he kind of just wants to save everybody, and that's respectable, I guess. But again, I wasn't expecting the ending that we got, and unfortunately, you know, he had to kill Irisveal. He didn't get to see his daughter anymore because she's still at the Einsburns, and they won't let him in because he lost. But yeah, a lot of death and destruction in those final battles. Great action. The fight with Kirei and Kiritsugu in that Batman lair, I'm calling it, was fucking awesome. That was probably the best hand-to-hand fight. I don't know if we've seen any other hand-to-hand fights, really. Maybe sword fights, but that was like crazy hand-to-hand combat. It was so cool. I don't remember if Kiritsugu ever used that like time move that he was using earlier in the series, but that was like one of my favorite parts of that episode. I know I'm a little jumping around. I'm trying to remember everything and process everything. I waited until the next day to record this so that I can properly process the series that I just watched. But yeah, it was definitely a great series, definitely a confusing series, and one that I think deserves to be rewatched maybe multiple times in order to fully understand every angle and aspect of this story. Like, certain things didn't make sense. Like, I thought that what's his name? The slug guy, I'm forgetting his name right now. I'm forgetting the slug guy's name right now, but the one who strangled the girl, the lady who he was like going to help her in the beginning, like his whole reason for joining the Holy Grail War was to get Sakura back for her. And it was kind of weird that he like had such a drastic change after finding out that God, I'm forgetting names right now. The Tosaka, after Tosaka was killed, it was kind of weird that he just flipped his switch. Here, let me look up his name real quick. I'm pretty sure I had it pulled up here a second ago. Sorry about this. Let me just remember his name real quick so I'm not calling him that slug guy. It was a shorter name, I remember that. Karya. It was Karya. Karya. I didn't really understand his character at all. It seemed like his motivations were to help save Sakura, but then he did all these weird things that contradicted it towards the end. And we didn't get to see him all that much. So I kind of forgot about him, but yeah. That being said, after everything I've said that I like about the series, there are a few things that I didn't like about the series. Like, I don't like the fact that they pretty much set up that Kirei Kotomine and Kiritsugu were like the main two characters, and we're going to come to the conclusion at the end, like right at the beginning, it seemed like. So there was no mystery. Like, I was rooting for Ryder, but I always knew that it wasn't going to be him. It was going to be either Kiritsugu or Kirei who win. Even though it was neither, it still came down to those two. So that was pretty predictable. I also don't like that we didn't get as much backstory on any of the other characters except for Karitsugu. Like, we got 2 whole episodes dedicated to his backstory. I think one would have sufficed even, and in lieu of having other people's backstory portrayed. I feel like it would have been more emotionally investing in characters to have more backstory. But it's a shorter series, and there are so many angles. I can't really fault it for that. But yeah, that's. I don't know if there's anything else really to say other than this was a great series, and I do hope that eventually the sequel gets voted in, because I would like to see it. I will definitely hold off watching it until it does. But yeah. That's pretty much it. Let me know what you think in the comments section, and if you haven't already, like and subscribe. Until next time, I'm Chronic Gamer. Peace.